Sjafruddin Prawiranegara was an Indonesian politician, economist, and latterly Islamic philosopher. Early life. Sjafruddin was born in Enia Kidul, Banten on 28 February 1911, of a Bantenese Minangkabau father and Bantenese mother. In 1931, he graduated from AMS in Bandung. He wanted to continue his study in Leiden, but his family could not afford this, so he studied at the law faculty in Jakarta and earned a Master in Directen degree in September 1939. In 1939–1940 he was an editor of Sirat Imor, a journal sponsored by Soeharto Hadikoso Mo. Sjafruddin was more strongly nationalist than this, however, refusing to join the Stadswat, though he did in 1940 join the Dutch Department of Finance. He retained his job under the Japanese occupation, working as a tax inspector. Political career. After the proclamation of independence on 24 August 1945, he joined the PNRI, becoming one of 15 members of its Central Committee. In 1946, he joined Masjumi, the Islamic political party, publishing Politik dan Revolusi Kita. He espoused a religious socialist philosophy, which led to his appointment as Deputy Minister of Finance in Sjafruddin's second cabinet from 12 March 1946 to 27 June 1947, Minister of Finance for Sjafruddin's third cabinet from 2 October 1946 to 27 June 1947, as well as being Minister of Finance under Hatta's non-party cabinet and the continuation from 29 January 1948 until full independence in December 1949. The resistance to the Dutch was limited to Java and Sumatra, and increasing military success in Java made the position of the revolutionary leaders in Java increasingly weak. In anticipation of the Dutch overrunning the revolutionary Indonesian capital at Yogyakarta, Hatta was given authority to set up a republican government in defensible central Sumatra. Hatta was to return to Java for UN-led peace talks. However, Sjafruddin was given the role of Prime Minister-in-waiting. When the Dutch captured Sukarno, Hatta, and others, he assumed the role of emergency president in West Sumatra, liaising by radio with remaining nationalists in Java to organize resistance to the Dutch. For this position he was able to maintain the republican effort until the Dutch released Sukarno and Hatta, after Indonesia obtained full independence. Sjafruddin continued to serve as Minister of Finance from 1 January 1950 to 6 September 1950 and 6 September 1950 to 20 March 1951 under Natsir leadership. He was then appointed as Governor of the Bank Indonesia until 1957. PNRI rebellion. Sjafruddin in 1957 came into conflict with the president over his opposition to nationalization of Dutch economic interests, and his opposition to guided democracy, culminating in the writing of a letter to Sukarno on 15 January 1958, from Palembang, South Sumatra, where Sjafruddin was in talks with the rebellious Colonel Balan, telling Sukarno to return to the Indonesian constitution. He was sacked as Bank Indonesia governor as a result. As Sjafruddin became more involved with the rebels called Pemerintahan Revolutionary Republik Indonesia, Sjafruddin was less reckless than some of his PNRI colleagues, opposing the 5-day ultimatum on 10 February 1958 to Prime Minister Juanda Karta to establish a new cabinet with Hatta and Hamengkubuwono IX, the Sultan of Yogyakarta, at its head. Therefore, on 15 February 1958, Sjafruddin became Prime Minister of PNRI. His signature, which had appeared on banknotes of the Republican period, and as Governor of Bank Indonesia, appeared on the notes of PNRI. Sjafruddin opposed the establishment of a separate country of Sumatra, instead seeing PRI as a movement for Indonesian integrity, opposed to the centralization of power in Indonesia. Then, the rebellion was a failure, and on 25 August 1961, Sjafruddin surrendered to the army. He was imprisoned until 26 July 1966, although he was granted official amnesty in 1961. Post-rebellion, upon release, Sjafruddin tended to express himself more through religion, preaching against corruption under Suharto, and leading the Petition of 50, and opposing the concept of Pancasila as the sole guiding principle for all groups, especially religious ones, in Indonesia. On 7 July 1983, he wrote an open letter to Suharto to protest against the provision in the draft law that endorsed the concept. Due to this activity, Suharto banned Sjafruddin from leaving the country except for medical treatment. Death. He died of a heart attack on 15 February 1989. Personal life. He married to Tengku Halimah, daughter of the Camat of Buah Batu and descendant of the Minangkabau Raja of Pagaruyung on 31 January 1941. Bibliography. Boucher, David. Hadis, Vedyar. Indonesian Politics and Society. A Reader. New York. Routledge. ISBN 978-0-415-23750-5. Carhan, George MCT. In Memoriam, Sjafruddin Prawiranegara, Indonesia. Ithaca, New York. Cornell Modern Indonesia Project. 48-101-106. ISSN 0019-7289. Gianwithi, ed. Recollections. The Indonesian Economy, 1950s-1990s. Singapore, Institute of Southeast Asian Studies. ISBN 978-981-230174-1.